Today we're going to be making a zombie so that it will be part of our scary scene. So to make a zombie, what you'll need to do is, if you go to Photoshop, we're going to go ahead and set up a new document. It's going to be in inches, and we are going to make it 5 inches by 7 inches and 150 resolution, transparent. We'll name this DA1-3-2, and then your last name. Go ahead and hit OK. You now have that. Now, what we will be doing is, if you go back to the Unit 3, you will see a picture that comes up here in the examples of a completed zombie. Now, I'm going to use the picture that we use in the tutorial. So it'll be this lady, this girl is the one I will be using. If you want to use somebody else, you can, but it may not be anybody from the school or in any kind of detrimental way. It can be a celebrity, etc. So to get this girl's picture on this Unit 3 and over here, the Zombie Project, this is where the link to the tutorial is. And then here is Girl to Make a Zombie. If you click on it, the girl comes up. So you'll right click, hit Copy Image, go back down to Photoshop, go up to Edit, Paste, or hit Control V. We'll hit Control T so that we can make it bigger. You hold the Shift key down, it'll keep her in proportion. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill it in because I don't really need to see her hair and such for what we are doing. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make a new layer of this layer so that if anything happens to it, we'll already have it there. So all you have to do is click and drag it down to the new layer button, and you automatically have a new layer. So this layer here, we're going to turn off. This one is kind of like our safety if we need it. So now we're going to make a new layer. We're going to go over here to our color, and we're going to pick a grayish color. And go ahead and hit OK, and then you're going to go and find your paintbrush, which should be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th one down. And it's a brush tool. You can go up here across the top, and you can, I would select something that's pretty solid, and we're going to make it pretty big because what we're going to do is we're going to cover all of the white areas or the color skin that we want to zombify. So just go ahead and fill it in. Okay, and then once you have that, we're going to go over here. Do you see where it says kind and normal? So if you click on this normal, it gives you a whole bunch of different layer styles. So you can go down here, and you're going to go down here to either hue, saturation, or color. And each one will do something different. That one's green. I don't want that. Saturation, that's gray. Or you can do color, which is the same thing. So go ahead and hit the one that's going to make it gray. Now if it's too gray, it's too dark for you, you can go up here and you can go to the opacity and you can turn it down so it's more of a grayish brown or whatever color. This is all up to you at this point. All right, so now we're going to hold down the Shift key with this layer selected, and we're going to select the layer underneath it. We're going to right click and click Merge Layers. So now that these two layers are one. So we have this guy and then we have this guy. So we no longer have three layers. With this layer selected, we're going to go ahead and go over here, and you're going to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 14th one down, it looks like kind of a magnifying glass, but we're going to go to the burn tool. And if you go over here, you have this paintbrush is already chosen. So I'm going to keep it I'll probably make it a little bigger. I can make it softer if I want. And then if I click, I can make it look much darker. So we're going to go ahead and go around the eyes. You can do around the mouth. And this is just clicking, clicking, clicking. The more you click, the darker it gets. You can move it around. And so we're just going to go ahead and click the places that pretty much you would think that a zombie would have. So we're going to do this. You click until you're happy with whatever it is. All right. So now that you have done that, we're going to go ahead and make their eyes look a little bit foggy or glassy. So we're going to go over here. We're going to make a new layer. Okay, this one here, we're going to put the burn on because that's our burn layer. And we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to call this one eyes. And we're going to go over here back to our paintbrush. We're going to make it smaller because it was pretty big then at the end. Make sure your layer is selected. And we're going to pick a little bit lighter, more of a whiter gray. We're going to go here and we're going to cover just the eye. Just the whites and such of the eye, not the eyelashes or the eyeball. I mean, this is more the eyeball. Okay, and once you have that, then you're going to go up here to your opacity and you're going to turn it down so that it's wherever you feel that it is a good look at this point. All right, if you need to, you can go over here to the paintbrush and you can, the paintbrush, the eraser, and you can go ahead and erase some of the spots. And then we can also go down here to this normal, and let's see, maybe screen, no. Multiply will make now multiple it won't do it. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with lightning for the moment. All right. Then we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to call this layer blood. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to choose like not a blood red, because zombies don't have blood red. They have like older blood. So we're going to pick a like a cranberry, dark reddish color. And we're going to make R. And that should be all right. Okay, so we're going to go back to R. And we're going to go right here underneath the eyes. And if you want to have just a little bit over here. So now we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to soft light. That gives it a little bit, and if you want a little bit more, you can kind of go over here to opacity, and you can play with it till you think that it's good enough. It looks realistic, and you can go from there. The other thing is it might help if we take and put it underneath the eyes so that the red is coming out through this. So one thing we can do is we're going to go back to the eyes, and we're going to, double click. We're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. If you move this around, you can kind of get to the point where you can see your gray area. And I don't know, we're going to maybe make it like 4-ish, just to give it a little softer look. And then we can do the same thing with the red. You see how solid it is here. So we just want to give it more pixelation, more blur to it so that it looks much more realistic. All right, so now one of the things that you can do is we're going to take and we're going to merge these three. So you're going to click on the first one and then go to the third one with the shift key selected. You're going to right click and go to merge. And then we can go back to our burn tool. And if you want to make some stuff darker, you can. You're not going to be able to use the burn tool unless the layers are merged. So if your burn tool is not working, it is probably because your layers are not merged. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to try to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of gore if you want. So if we're going to go back here to Chrome, and we're going to go to back here, and it says texture under assignment 3. So there you go. There's some lovely texture, isn't it? So we're going to go to copy image. We're going to go back to Photoshop. We're going to paste it in. Then we're going to make it smaller. And I want to put it on her cheek. If you want to put it other places, you can. But I'm going to put it on her cheek. So now if I do that, it looks like we just basically took and put a picture of something on there. So we need to make it blend in and such. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit Control T, and then we're going to right click and we're going to click Warp. Now warp is something you just have to keep playing with all of these. You can take, you can pull it out, so you can give it some 3D-ish. You can make this come in so it's over here. And so you're just going to play around with it till it gets to what you think would be a pretty decent area. All right, so now I've got that. It looks a little better, but you can still tell that it's just kind of there. So now if we go here and we go to screen, still okay, soft light. Now that works. You have a little bit here. So what I would do is I'd go back here, go back to my burn tool, maybe burn this a little bit so that it doesn't look such an edge. I might even take and warp it some more. So you're just making it look as realistic as possible. Once you are done with that, you're going to go ahead and go to File, Save As, and I want you to save it as both a PSD file and as a JPEG, because you're going to need the JPEG as part of your scary scene. So you need to save it both ways in your Unit 3 folder. As always, if you have any questions, let me know.